Hey guys, here we are. Well, something different for you. We got an early look at the next issue of Conan the Barbarian. Now, when we're filming
the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life.
when we're filming this, our book isn't out for another week.
It's next week. I thought it was until next month. Okay.
No, it's next week. Big thanks to Jim Zub, who is the writer of Conan the Barbarian, and Titan Comics, the publisher. They provided us with an advanced look at the full issue of Conan the Barbarian. So we're here to give you a spoiler-free discussion of the book. Real quick, before I get going, for you guys, what is your sort of experience with Conan the Barbarian as a character?
Mostly the movies. I think I've read a few random issues of the comic here and there, but not
The old Marvel book or
not
whatever?
not regularly, and not
Yes.
even like a whole arc, but like
Right.
just random issue that somebody had and I picked it up and read.
Right. So what about you, Phil?
Probably more like the movies, but I've also read like some of the comics. Like I'm like Savage Sword of Conan came out. I've read several of those from the older days. And several of like the what was it, Robert Howard?
Robert E. Howard. Did you read the books?
So some of them. Some of
Okay.
like the short stories that appeared in it was Weird magazine that used to publish
Weird Tales.
Yeah, Weird Tales that
Yeah.
used to publish Conan. Like
Yep.
so I've, like some of those old like short stories. I've read
Yep.
some of those. Too.
That's cool. Which is cool actually, because some of what was in this issue, and we'll get to that, ties into that original source material from Robert E. Howard in those Weird Tales, Pulp Fiction books from way back when. I'm in kind of like the same boat like with you guys. I definitely watched the movies, the Arnold movies for sure, and I did read Savage Sword of Conan, the magazine, in the '80s a little bit, like not a lot, but I got a couple issues, which was always awesome. And yeah, I loved that new one that came out recently. It was kind of cool to have that magazine back again. But anyway, talking about all that, so this new series that's with Titan Comics now, Marvel had the license before this just a few years ago, and then I think my understanding is that Marvel decided they didn't want to do too many other like licensed books outside of whatever Disney owned. So those rights were up for grabs. Titan got the rights to it, and that's where we're at. So now being similar to you guys, I had limited experience with Conan, but the new book I was really intrigued by it. I would see it on the shelves, but I didn't pick it up, but I went and grabbed the trade paperback and absolutely loved it. The first 4 issues are amazing. And then there was the second arc. I got came in here, got the individual issues of those. That was a really good arc too. So if you don't know kind of like what's going on after you've read this recent issue, but the Blackstone, they reference that in the issue. That's kind of like the key to these overall arcs that are running through the series right now. And the first arc, he had an encounter with the Blackstone, which affected other Sumerians, and he had to do battle with them. Then in the second arc, he himself kind of got corrupted by this Blackstone, and it was interesting leading up to this issue, the most recent issue. He literally had to stab himself to break the curse, and that's how we ended up into this issue now. And there's some time travel going on. Which is kind of neat because typically a Conan story wouldn't have a lot of time travel. But I really thought that they did a really good job in this new issue of moving him back.
Right.
Okay. Again, we're trying not to get too spoilery, but I think if you are a Robert E. Howard fan, like if you're a fan of those classic stories like you were talking about, Phil,
Definitely.
there's some stuff in here that you will definitely pop for. Like, you know what I mean? There's definitely some references to some older stories along with some other famous faces, let's just say. So I think you're in for a treat. Overall, like for you guys, if I'm remembering what you told me before, you haven't read, you haven't read this series.
No,
Not the Titan series. I just kind of like, and it was one of those series I missed. I missed issue 1, and I didn't really like pick it up. So after reading this, I think I'm gonna start getting.
You're gonna go back? Yeah.
Well, if I could go back and get them, I will, or at least like get the trade paperback. But I think I'm gonna start like picking it up monthly, since like because this is like this issue kind of is like I would say like the next kind of like arc. You could kind of like get this next Conan. If you missed it, you'll be fine.
I think it's a decent starting point. I
Yeah.
mean, you missed some of the nuance if you missed the previous two arcs. I think this is a decent place
I felt like
to start.
starting with this one, I kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little recap page in the beginning that kind of
Mhm.
helps catch you up or whatever, which is really good. But and this issue itself is very indicative of the overall like quality of the series for the most part. Like that first arc had the same artist, Roberto De La Torre. He did the same art. He did the art on the first arc, which looks great because it's very like John Buscema, kind of Joe Kubert, mixed there, but definitely that Buscema vibe, which is great for classic Conan comics. So I love seeing him. Dougie Braithwaite did the second arc, which looked really good. I definitely love Roberto De La Torre though. I'm really happy to see him back. It's a great comic. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think it's like a whole package. Like the lettering itself is
It's definitely its own style.
yes,
sure.
it's nothing like other comics that are out there. It has an old school feel, and I think it feels a lot like because I've now recently, after kind of really getting into this book, I kind of went back into some other Conan stuff that I had never read before. Some of the Marvel '70s, like Roy Thomas, John Buscema comics, and this feels very like in line with it. And so I think it's really
Stylistically,
cool.
it almost, without really fully comparing it, it feels like Prince Valiant. That
see
style,
that.
very pulpy, very
Yes,
in your face. It is what it is. It doesn't try and hide what it is.
it has that. It definitely has that pulp feel. I think Jim Zub is going very hard on the Robert E. Howard connection. There's no
Every
denying it.
sentence reads like the opening of the Conan movie.
Yeah,
And they talk like it too.
it
So
does
it's
have
like-
has a real vibe of that. That's for sure. But anyway, so overall, you guys like the book,
It was
right?
enjoyable.
I liked the book.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
I
it.
enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
No, I think it's cool, especially because you guys are new to it. So I think it's cool to have that perspective. For me, jumping in on it now after having read the previous 8 issues, to me, it's just the ball is just rolling. It's just the qualities there, and I thought it was an excellent new issue. I'm looking forward to having the print copy in hand next week. So anyway, thanks again to Jim Zub, to Titan Comics. Really appreciate that advanced look, and you guys look forward to it next week at your local comic shop. Get that issue number 9 of Conan from Titan Comics. You will not regret it.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
That too.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes?